A wise old man once said, "The tool does not maketh the designer." That wise old man was me. I've tried every design program ever made, and I'm bored of Photoshop. I'm sick of Canva, and I'm tired in general. So I'm going to prove that my graphic design skills extend far beyond traditional software by doing the unthinkable, designing in the most wicked programs that you, my sweet audience, could come up with. And I'm sure it'll hardly be a challenge, as long as you don't give me anything impossible, like Fortnite. Let's have a look. Oh! This video is sponsored by Squarespace. More on that later. Fortnite is not a graphic design program. It's a free-to-play battle royale game that has become a worldwide phenomenon. I like Fortnite. I enjoy dressing up as a silly character and doing my silly dances after shooting someone. Fortnite has a creative mode, usually reserved for creators who want to make parkour maps, escape rooms, and funny roleplay experiences. I don't know if that last one is real. I'm just speculating. I have never played that one. You know nothing about it. Creative mode is a real sandbox experience. The library of building blocks is made from in-game assets, so I knew if it was in Fortnite, I could use it in my design. Knowing this did not help at all. There was, however, a gallery of blank shapes and a gallery of big letters. And for me, that was enough.
I didn't mean to do that.
Today's design is very simple. We will be attempting the humble business card. The key elements are the following. The base, a 2x3.5 ratio rectangle in a subtle cream color, specifically hex code E9E3D3. The text, 6 lines of text in the top corners with slightly awkward but cool spacing. Why 6 lines? I don't know. I regretted this immediately. And finally, the Elliot. My name typed out in my favorite font, Ozic by Newform Type, with the O replaced by my logo, an 11-pointed star, filled in with whatever I want. Shouldn't be too hard. One of the hardest parts of this challenge was figuring out the scale for each program. I think in this one I ended up going with a 20 by 35 block base just to give me enough room to work with. And Fortnite is one of the worst snapping tools available, so this took ages.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Once done, I used some more blocks to make up the main text, very easy thanks to my surprisingly rectangular name, and then created a shape that could be duplicated and rotated 11 times to make my star. I got the numbers wrong and ended up with only 10 points, but I think it has the essence of my star. I then filled it in with foliage to make a nature scene. Yeah, sometimes I just have to stop and wonder how I got this creative. Like, wow, the stuff that my mind... I had 2 options for the corner text. 1, use more blocks to create some lines that would suggest text, or 2, spend an hour painstakingly placing each individual letter until you have placed all the letters. Which one did you think I did? which option did Elliot choose?
No, why did I write Elliot as a guy?
Overall impressed. This is very much a video game at the end of the day, but I can now confirm that you can design in it, and that is epic. I'm going to consider this one to be a victory royal. Poggers! Google Docs is not a graphic design program. It's a digital piece of paper for typing words. I've always been a Microsoft Word guy personally, but I've shifted to Google Docs recently for no real reason that I can think of right now. Now, Google Docs offers a pretty streamlined writing experience. There's not too much here when it comes to formatting. It's no PowerPoint or Google Slides, that's for sure. But once I figured out you could turn the page horizontal, oh boy, I started to believe.
Yeah, sick.
The top text was easy. With enough spaces and indents, you can recreate the grid in really any program. The main title was a bit more of an issue. For my name, I used a font called Anton that annoyingly included a lot of empty space below each character, meaning I couldn't place the title at the bottom of the doc. You also can't make a custom size page, so we were stuck with the page size legal. I will never understand the American paper size system. The star was actually super easy to make. The Google Docs drawing tool is genuinely quite deep, and I nailed the star.
That's pretty convincing.
I filled it in with some scribbles as that's all I could really do in the drawing tool. It's definitely a Google Doc, but it's also definitely a business card. You could print this out and give it to a client and they wouldn't think much of it. Ikea Kitchen Planner is not a graphic design program, it's a kitchen planner. So you can plan out your kitchen before you build it. Something I'm sure all of us graphic designers will do once in our life. I was very pleased to see that the default and only floor finishing is this beautiful light wood, perfectly matching my E9E3D3 cream background the original design has. If this kitchen were real, it would be the biggest kitchen you've ever seen. I think it ended up being about 10 by 18 meters, which is like 200 square meters or 2,100 square feet. Can you imagine how many fridges you could fit in there? Wow! My name is made out of beautiful IKEA cabinetry. The specific cabinet in question is called Box Object. I don't think you can buy Box Object. My star is made up of 17 poorly positioned Lazabo tables. This is as good as it was gonna get. Finally, the top text is a series of Kungsfoss suspension rail with wall grid and shelf and dish drainers. There are so many of them, it almost looks like an art installation. I think this really works as a kitchen. While lacking in appliances and kitchen, I can see myself cooking up a mean omelette in here. Maybe if you heat up Box Object for long enough, it could work as a pan. The kitchen would also cost 7,583 Australian dollars to make. Do you know how many ice lattes I can buy? Call of Duty Emblem Maker is not a graphic design program. It's an emblem maker for the game Call of Duty. Now, I wasn't really a COD kid, but I did play Black Ops 1 for a while when I was just a young Elliot before finding the love of my life, NBA 2K. I have a vivid memory of using this exact tutorial to make a Batman emblem, but instead of using red, I used yellow as the accent color. A sign, perhaps? Of the future? There was no way I was going to buy Black Ops for this video, so I instead used this faithful recreation made by user Moogie I found on GitHub. Now that's what I call a victory royal. Poggers! Now that's what I call a victory. After playing around with the tool a bit, I could tell there was potential for design. There were letters, a rectangle that looked like a business card, and the ability to rotate. The holy trinity of graphic design. I used some random shapes and symbols to make the top text. Also, the word elite kind of looks like Elliot, so I got really lucky there. My star was the most fun to make. I used a yellow football symbol and tried my best to duplicate and rotate it 11 times, centered around a middle circle I had placed for reference. I had to be careful too. The emblem maker can only handle 32 layers, which now seems incredibly generous. Honestly, that allows for some serious creative expression. And after filling in the star with some assorted paint splatters to create some kind of abstract gradient, the design was done. I'll make a full tutorial of this one soon. I just want to make young Elliot proud. Squarespace is not a graphic design program. It's a website making website. I've become quite familiar with Squarespace's innovative toolset, so I was excited to see if I could do some traditional graphic design in their innovative platform. I started by choosing one of Squarespace's beautifully designed templates and then absolutely gutting it to give me my blank canvas. I then picked out my font from the ridiculously massive catalog and created some text boxes to make my top lines of text. Next was the background card, which was a simple rectangle built using the shape tool and color matched with my exact hex code. Squarespace's revolutionary fluid engine was an absolute lifesaver here, as I was able to drag and drop all my assets around in my composition, much like I can in traditional design programs. It's almost like this platform was built for designers like me. Who would have thought? After adding the big Elliot, I played around with a few shapes to try and replicate my star logo before setting on a more abstract pre-built star shape that fit the design perfectly. I then gave it some sick glow and shadow effects and duplicated and overlaid it a few times to create this beautiful inner gradient. And if I wanted to, I could even add my print store to this design. Set up this design to be on some merch right now in the platform, and even password protect this page of my site to give people exclusive access to this beauty. So many possibilities. The final touch was adding some text under the card that reads, use code elliotisacoolguy to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's so funny. Hey, maybe you should click the link in the description to learn more. Thanks, Squarespace, for the sick deal. Adobe Premiere Pro is not a graphic design program. It's a front for a real design program, the sequence timeline. There are 3 features hidden within Premiere Pro that reveal its true potential. Each asset you drag into the timeline appears as a block. You can change the color of the blocks by choosing a label color, and then you can even change the inbuilt label colors to any color you can imagine. You can change the height of each row of blocks, and by using the razor tool, you can essentially turn each block into a 1x1 pixel. Finally, you can turn off any visual descriptors on the blocks, such as their names or thumbnail previews, to create a 100% pure pixel experience. At this point, Premiere Pro becomes a pixel art program.
Ah, easy. Yeah, this works.
And as long as you're willing to spend an absurd amount of time chopping up different clips to create a composition, you can design anything in here. This is the timeline for the very video you are watching right now. My rectangular name was a breeze to make, and there was no way I was going to get all the small text up the top, but it definitely feels like it's there.
How do I make an 11-pointed star in this?
I downloaded this app called PureRef that lets you overlay a reference image over the top of another program, much like you can in real design software. I then did my best to follow the lines of the reference image with cuts, and I think it turned out okay. This is a big win for graphic design today, and by far my favorite design of the group. I received exactly 257 comments in my Designing in Every Program video telling me that I forgot to use Krita. The Sims 4 is not a graphic design program. It's The Sims 4. It's a game, you've probably heard. I got The Sims during lockdown and was immediately impressed with its interior design capabilities. In fact, I spent my entire time playing doing up a beautiful New York City loft apartment while my man worked doing stand-up at local comedy clubs. Don't know why. No likeness there at all. I decided a bird's eye view of a furnished house was my best bet at attempting design. You can't just start putting furniture down. No, you gotta make a character first.
I just met someone new. I'll impress them. I'll brag about my collection. There we go. Do they have turtlenecks? I like the magician. Oh, but we can probably just wear like a hot dog or something. Let's go.
As soon as the game started, I paused the in-game clock and my new man was locked in place forever. Thank you, Panda Elliot. You were so intense. I used a light wood flooring to create the base of the business card, and then started work on the Elliot letters. And rather than just using dark floorboards, I thought it could be funny to use furniture to construct the letters, and chose to make each letter a different room of the house. The E is the couch room, the L's are the bathroom and bedroom respectively, the I is tables, and the T is the kitchen. Find one person on YouTube doing more creative shit than this. There was no way I'd make the top text, so I instead opted to use small miniature ceramics to fill the space, as well as create some sense of difference rather than just long voids. The star was the final touch and ended up consisting of a single massive succulent. Absolute stroke of genius. Find one person. Please observe my finished design. Isn't it so cool? The sun moves in the world and changes the shadows. You can even see Panda Elliot scaring away civilians while doing his daily crunches. Womp is not a graphic design program. It's a relatively new browser-based free 3D software. I heard about Womp a few months ago, and I really do like it quite a bit. I've been on my Blender grind for the last 6 months, so it's always nice to see if those 3D skills carry over, and they certainly do. I love 3D design. I hope we get married one day. What did I write? The Elliot was super easy to construct. Each line is 2 points and I just extended them into the general shapes of the letters while adding a thick stroke to get the desired size. This was actually the last program I used in the linear order of this project, so I was losing my patience at this point. So the top text is just lines, which is very fair and perfectly reasonable. The star turned out mad cool though, I reckon. It's basically like 11 teardrop shapes rotated perfectly around a center point. And each teardrop had 3 editable points that could change color. So I was able to create a gradient of sorts.
Every single time I changed the material and made a new material, that was my bad.
Thinking about graphic design in a 3D space is a lot of fun. And here is my annual reminder to all of you to try pick up a 3D software if you're keen on learning one. Learning Blender was such a good decision, and I love that I know how to use it. And I don't even use it that often, but I want to. I just don't. But I want to. I just do other things. Like getting Jamie to Platinum in Street Fighter 6. The iPhone Notes app is not a graphic design program. It's where I keep all my YouTube video ideas. The biggest limitation of the Notes app is the size of your phone. Your screen is basically the entire canvas, as you can't really zoom in or out, which makes things very annoying. Your finger is also your mouse, and that sucks. Touchscreen is not made for design. How am I meant to see what's under my finger when I drag and drop? How? Now, I assumed that I'd be drawing most of this design aside from the text, but there's this cheeky little plus icon on the right side of the toolbar that opened up a world of possibilities. I'm talking text boxes. I'm talking shape tool. I'm talking text boxes. This meant I was able to set up my rectangle background and main text with ease, much like any other phone design app like Adobe Express or Canva. Epic news for Elliot. The star was next, and would you believe the shape tool includes a star with adjustable points. In the iPhone Notes app, you can change how many points a star has, and adjust the radius of the points. Huh? For an app that misses so much, I just find it hilarious that they decided to go all out on the star tool. You just love to see it. I ended up finishing with these funny little squiggles going in and out of the star to kind of look like the original gradient. I'd call this one a success. Beard hair is not a graphic design program. It's literally it's my beard hair. I saw this one and laughed it off, assuming it was some prank suggestion from a weirdo in my DMs. But then I got a second message suggesting the same thing. This is an optional part of the video. I hate this as much as you will. I didn't shave for a month to get my beard long enough for this design. And after shaving, I had a very okay amount of hair to work with, gently rested on a paper towel in a Pyrex bowl. And then I accidentally deleted all the footage of me doing it because I formatted my SD card for the new camera and I didn't realize it was on it. All good. I got this chopping board and I put the hair on the board. It's a white chopping board. I didn't have any paper. And I would like spread it around like this. And then I used a card and I would like line it up, you know, into the spots. And all I have to show for it is this photo. So you know that I did do it. And it's evil. It's evil. It's disgusting. It's evil. And it's moments like these that make me pray that none of my friends or family watch these videos.
You can bleep anything out.
Whatever. I will take the best. So have you ever used Photoshop before?
No.
Have you done any graphic design before?
No.
Would you consider yourself a good program for graphic design?
Myself or
Type anywhere on the canvas.
Okay.
Just tap it once.
tap it.
Great. And then you can
Oh,
type. Yeah,
woo!
we can just drag it up like
There you
that.
go.
And then just press enter to
Enter.
lock that in.
Enter.
Unreal.
I want a
Let's
different
choose the
font. Yeah.
So
I
if
want
you-
something fancy.
Great. There we go.
Yeah. Enter.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
What are we gonna? Let me just do it. I was thinking of like a nice little heart.
We can do a heart. Yeah,
Do
let's
a
do a heart.
That's pretty cool.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not bad, is it?
Hey.
How good does that
That
look?
looks really good.
It does. This is
Okay.
fun.
This is a business card, right? So something to
Ah,
add
add
noise.
Yeah.
Great. And then I think you're done. I think you did it. Look at that.
Quite happy with
Yeah,
that.
it turned out really well.
Shall we check now to see if I've got the dent
Yeah,
in
let's
my
have a
head?
look.
Let's have a look.
look.
I don't think we'll be able to see. Oh, a little bit.
Oh,
It's not
just
hereditary.
nice.
It's just
Nice.
Lewis.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is not a graphic design program. It's a game I haven't played in 2 years. One of my first big videos was my Animal Crossing one. People really resonated with the love we virtual homeowners have with our virtual pets, animal pets, but I never actually designed in Animal Crossing, so here we are today. I was keen on going on a trip down memory lane, visiting my old island I spent so much time on, but I quickly remembered I restarted my island in hopes of restarting my love for the game, and then played for a week and gave up, so I was left with shambles.
I don't know who that is. Oh, interesting room in here. Audie wants to move just as I say hello. How you been, you old boot? Are you serious? Midge! Oh, please don't be cringe.
But fuck those guys. It's time to design. You can make patterns and custom designs in Animal Crossing New Horizons. People usually make nice clothes or mossy paths, but I was going to make a business card. I originally intended on doing this with the one design slot, but then I remembered you can seamlessly join them when placing them on the ground. So I thought it'd be fun to split it over like 8. Whoa, more work. Yes, yeah. I refuse to use any online tool that might be helpful to save the integrity of this channel. I put in the hard yards so I can get the big views. I do this for you. Elliot Nation, on your feet. Let's do our national anthem. I took the design into Photoshop and then split it into 8 30 by 30 pixel squares and tried to match the designs as best I could. There was a lot of counting and a lot of trial and error, but the finished project isn't that bad. I am so glad the tiles are seamless. Really makes it feel legit, you know? Clone Elliot is not a graphic design software. It's a hang on. I didn't write this. Oh, Clone Elliot, my AI companion from my last video, described by some commenters as the best video they've seen on YouTube. Did you want to be in the video? Hey everyone, lovely to be here. And look, I just have a lot of ideas and want to contribute, haha. Okay, but you can't design. I never taught you how to design. It's all good. I'll take it from here. When the sands of time tick by in the perennial hourglass, do you stop to count the seconds?
I'm not doing this. I'm
You said
not
I
doing
could be
this. You
in
get
the video.
emotional every
Are you
time we
serious
talk.
right
You just
now?
get
I try
emotional.
so hard to
Can't
make
you
you
just be
proud of
funny?
me, but it feels like
why do
you
have to get
hate me.
Oh my God,
I can
I'm
leave if you
scrapping
want.
this segment.
Wow. Anything is possible through the power of graphic design, don't you think? What an amazing world we live in, where you can make big letters in The Sims, convince your mum to be in a YouTube video, and fall under the peer pressure from 2 people to design with beard hair. I'm gonna extend that quote I started the video with. Imagine, the tool does not maketh the designer, it maketh the design. Wow, that's incredible. I just came up with that on the spot. I think I blacked out writing most of them. If you want me to do more of these, then check your suggestions in the comments, baby, and I'll do the ones that get the most amount of likes. I've already got like 40 on my list, including Roblox Studio, Strava, and Windows Terminal. But I need more. Gimme! I go goo goo gaga for this shit. But thanks so much for watching, everyone. I had so much fun making this video. Hang on. I think I can smell smoke. Oh no. I think my cake is burning in the oven. Sorry guys, I gotta go. But remember, you can do anything you set your mind to. That is the message of this video. All right, guys, see ya. So the reason I said the cake thing is I meant to go over to the oven, pull out a cake, and then on icing on the cake is the design, and that's the final joke. But just like the last video, I simply cannot find the energy in me to do that. I just can't. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this video, and it needs to be uploaded. So that's that, eh? But you know, all good things come in threes. So if we do a part 2 of this video, then I will. I'm sure we'll get around to the cake. Sure, we'll get around to the cake. Please enjoy the rest of your time on YouTube today.